Well, this is my final update of my little trip, and I suppose a couple of things have changed again. Always on the last little update video, I said I was trying to do a big video. Well, I did and I didn't. I didn't do the video that I thought I was going to do, and I didn't do a sort of a diary of things as I was going through in quite the same way. I'm going to do a little YouTube short. I went in the swimming pool yesterday, and I thought it was going to be quite comedic in as much as, it was going to be freezing cold because it's an outdoor pool. But it was actually 26 degrees in the pool, even though it was 8 outside. So it wasn't quite as comedic, but I did fall in. So, so there's something. Or I was on the steps and I fell in. So spoiler alert. Now, I did a sort of an emotional bit to camera, which I did yesterday just then. I used the GoPro, but I didn't mic myself up, and you could hear the rain banging away, and the rain was 3 times louder than I was. So I don't know if it's going to come out, but I thought what I would do is I'll try and clean up the audio. If it works, great. I might just upload it as it is and stick it in the members archive. So if you really, really want to see it, that's where it's going to be. But alternatively, I thought I might come back. And if I do, or when I do, should I say, the video that I thought of that I was going to do outside, I'm going to do. Now I will there's a van that's arrived just over there. So I'm going to be very quiet. I'm going to just creep over there and do a bit more, because I wanted to sort of finish saying about what I've been doing. Got my keys. So I suppose the main thing that I've taken from this holiday, and I'm not afraid to call it a holiday, even though I have been working throughout, and I have been trying to make videos. So there's something in there that I've been working, but absolutely lovely, and something I will reveal now on the last day, because by the time I upload this, Mum and Dad will be back home. That is where my motorhome is, and that's the cottage Mum and Dad are staying in. The whole site is huge, and by pure coincidence, that's where they got allocated. And you really couldn't, you just couldn't have planned that. And well, I suppose you could have planned it. That's the whole thing. But you couldn't have imagined in a million years that would sort of happen. I'll try and hold the camera a different way. You just couldn't have imagined that would have happened by accident, but it did. So it's been rather nice, because we've had the courtesy shuttle taxi thing, a little golf buggy, and it's been sort of dropping us there, and then I've been sort of walking back to the motorhome at night after dinner. It's been very pleasant. Something that I have taken from this trip that I do want to share just in this final little sort of update, and that is that 20 years ago my life was very, very different. 5 years my life was very different. Well, 5.5 now. But 20 years ago I had the beginnings of a young family. Beth, who is now 24, was 4. And when you come with not a huge amount of cash to spend, and you stay in the self-catering accommodation, and you've got a young family, it's very different to the fine dining hotel suites that you got up here. I know that sounds awful, but it's a very, very different place. It really, really is. And I would hardly recommend to anyone. I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold it the way next my arms go. I'd recommend coming here to anyone, even if you've not got a huge amount of money to spend. It's worth coming for the experience of being here, particularly because day visitors come between 9 and 5, I think it is, every day. And after 5 o'clock, even on the busiest of days, and these haven't been the busiest of days, but even if they are, at 5 o'clock, everyone goes home apart from hotel guests, which means you've got the village to yourself, which is rather nice. But yeah, I think the thing that I've, more than anything, I'm going to go back in the van actually, more than anything that I realised, along with this sort of Tale of Two Cities type thing, is I've had some some wonderful moments of nostalgia. My dad and I we sort of sat down in front of the coal fire last night. The fire was only on last night; it wasn't on the night before. But things that we did 20 years ago, like sitting and having a pint in front of the fire, and he really enjoyed it. It meant the world to him, and it really meant the world to me as well. It was lovely, absolutely lovely, and it just sort of reminded me that I was in a very different place 20 years ago. My life was very different. And you do look back. You look back and you think to yourself, well, 20 years, children have grown up, children have got older by 20 years. But you also sort of forget that you're 20 years older. And I know I often moan, my shoulder creaks and everything. But yeah, 20 years have gone by. That is, for most people, a quarter of their life, if maybe a fifth of their life, on an average lifespan. And I think it makes you think, it's not a long time, is it? It's. I keep going backwards and forwards because my arms hurt. I need to get a gimbal for the camera, for the phone, because I've actually really got into using the phone. I know Damon uses the phone all the time for his videos, and I've always been a sort of a big cameraman. And I had the spare GoPro yesterday. That was the 11. The 12's the one I usually use, but the 11 I thought, well, I'll take this in the pool, because if it's not as waterproof as it's supposed to be, it doesn't matter, does it? Because it's only a spare camera. Yeah, it's been an amazing little trip, and the way that I've done these videos, little sort of daily updates, I think it's been quite fun, actually. Let me know in the comments whether you like it or not. Because from an editing perspective, it's meant that I can shoot one of these videos in about 10-15 minutes. It takes me another 10-15 minutes to do a very basic level of editing on it. But after half an hour, I can get it uploaded. Whereas if I do a bigger one and use the GoPro, it takes hours and hours and hours to get it on the camera. So that's the downside. But sort of trying to manage the phone. But in terms of the editing, it's an hours and hours of process that is involved to edit the video. And I know the better quality if you do that, but maybe a little mix might be good. Certainly in between bigger, sort of more serious videos, little ones like this might be quite good, and I could do it more often. So yeah, let me know what you think. Right, I think I'm going to sign off for this one. So this is the end of the last little update video of my little trip here away. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's not been following adventures so much, more sort of checking in and saying hi. But I will upload the video that I did yesterday, even if it just goes in the members archive. It was very noisy. I'll see what I can do when I get home. I've sort of got it on the editing suite properly. But yeah, I'm definitely coming back to Portmeirion sometime very soon. I shall stay in the motorhome park again. £75 a night. Mum and Dad paid. There was a £5 in it per night. And it wasn't 5 and it wasn't 75. I'll let you have a guess. Yeah, it's a lovely suite, and I think they had dinner, bed and breakfast sort of built in to that, really. But yeah, it was not cheap. Whereas if you come here, this is pretty good in the motorhome park. So I'll come and I should do this again very soon, and hopefully I'll get that inspirational video out of it then, in addition to the other ones that I'll work on in the meantime. So thanks for watching as ever, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.